Mike Panaki here in the Profitap booth at Cisco Live 2023. A lot of the videos that we've done have focused on how we troubleshoot problems that we know are going on the network. But one of the important things is to know your network. So in this video, we're going to take a look at how we can do active network troubleshooting using the Iota, where we're going in and taking a look at the current levels of traffic, conversations, and what's happening on our network when things are normal. It's important that we know what normal is so that when things aren't working right, we know what to look for.
Every network is different. Because of that, it's key that we get to know our network. And by putting the Iota in line with our connections going out to the internet and going to our internal resources, we can begin to get a view of what's happening on our internal network. So if I start out here on the overview screen, I can see an overview of who is talking to whom. So I've got my flow diagram over here on the left-hand side. Now on the right-hand side, I can get an idea of what my traffic rates look like. I can get an idea of what my bits per second look like and the number of new flows per second. This gives me an idea of how much of my network is being used. Now in this case, we are looking at the last 6 hours. I'm going to come up here and I'm going to take a look at the last 7 days. Now, every network is different. As such, we need to know what's normal for our network. So in this case, I'm able to take a look at what my network looks like over the last 7 days. Do I see times when there's more traffic, less traffic? And am I seeing an increase in traffic when I don't expect to see it? So coming in and taking a look at what my traffic looks like normally starts giving me a good picture of how much of my network is being used. Now I'm going to knock this back down to 6 hours again to make sure that we're not looking at massive amounts of data for this particular video. I'm going to come up here to navigate. Now the next thing that I will take a look at is my application overview. Within the application overview, I can start seeing what applications are going across my network. And again, understand your network. Understand how your network is being used. So in this case, if I want to focus in on business applications, I can come down here and tap on business. Now it's going to focus in on those applications that are going across my network that are business related. Now, one of the big things that we run into is slowdowns. So if I want to identify, do I see particular applications or servers are slow? I can come down here to latency and I can expand that. And it will start giving me an idea of what my latency is for these various applications. And I can even come down and see the server locations and see where those servers may be slow based on the color of these dots right here. And we can further drill into clients and servers to start seeing what clients and servers we have out there, where those servers are located, what our payload size looks like, how much traffic we see going across each one of those. Now another thing that gives us a good indication of the health of our network is our DNS traffic. So I'll come up here to navigate. I'm going to go to my DNS overview. Now from here, I can start getting a good picture of what is happening with DNS. Now every single call that we do out there to a website, to an application, typically starts with a DNS call. Now we see that I don't have anything on here. That's because we still have a filter up here on our business applications. I'm going to go ahead and remove that filter. So now it's going to start showing us what's going on with that. Now the big thing in this case is we're not filtering on anything. When we're trying to get an idea of what our network looks like normally, we are taking a look at everything. So in this case, I can start seeing which DNS servers are being used. I can see which DNS names I'm looking up the most. And I can even come down here and I can take a look at my DNS flows. So this is going to show me my top 20 slowest DNS flows. So a few things to note. We see a pretty consistent amount of DNS traffic going across our network. So if we had something that was acting strange, we might see a spike in the DNS traffic right in here. In fact, we could drill into a time period right there, like this, just by selecting it, and we could start seeing what is going on. I'm going to drill in even more. We're going to drill into this time period right here, and we can start getting an idea of which DNS names were being looked up during this time. And we can see what the query was, we can see who the client was, and we can see how many flows were dependent on that particular DNS query. So I'm taking a look at my bandwidth, I'm taking a look at my DNS, I'm taking a look at my applications. We can also come up here and we can take a look at things like, well, in this case, our bandwidth again. Now this bandwidth view gives us a little more detail on our traffic going in and out of our network. So in this case, if we have the Iota plugged in the path of the packets, we take advantage of that internal tap. I can set which port is my inbound port and which port is my outbound port. So I can get an idea of how much traffic do I have coming in, how much traffic do I have coming out. And again, I can change that time period so that I can see, is there a particular time where we're seeing more bandwidth than others. Some other things we can look at our TCP analysis. We can start getting an idea of what do our TCP connections look like? Do we see completed three-way handshakes? Do I see cases where I am having an incomplete three-way handshake? This is a very handy one for looking for cases where a device is trying to access a resource that isn't out there, or somebody is trying to get into our network and they're poking away at our firewall. So when it comes to monitoring your network, don't wait until you have a problem. Spend some time looking at what's normal for your network, getting an idea of what that traffic typically looks like, so that when you do have a problem, you can recognize that something isn't operating the way you expect.